Good morning, traders. Welcome to our trading room and welcome to the weekly outlook, which will be on YouTube. For my YouTube viewers, if you like what you see, please share it. You might help somebody else. Very quick update for you guys on YouTube, because the last time we did the 1 week free access to my trading room, the response was good. A lot of you are requesting to have access to that room as a payment method, which means how much would I charge only for that one? Basically, we don't have that. That's free. All my traders get it free, and they get it free for lifetime, right? So basically, you only have to buy the course for that. So a lot of traders are not, either they don't have the money for the course right now, then they don't find the confidence in the installment program, which where you get only the recording. So we're working on a program whereby we can give you access to 2 live sessions as an installment program, where that money you pay for it will go towards the course. Right? It's not a lifetime. You're going to keep paying for access to that your whole life. You just pay enough for the course, and once you reach the sum of the course, you get into the group, you get access to all of that for free for the rest of your life. Now, if that is something that is interesting to any one of you out there, because a lot of you wrote me about it, if that is something, and I want you to do one single thing: send me a message on Skype saying if you're interested and how much you're willing to pay for it. Let's make it democratic. Tell me how much you think you can willing or you're afford to pay for something like that. That money will still not be more than the cost of the course. So it doesn't matter what you say, right? If you say 500, it will still be you pay 5 times and that's it, you get lifetime access. If you say 200, you pay until you reach 2005 and then you get lifetime access to the course and you don't have to pay more. So there's a cap to it. So I just want to know what I should charge for that so that we get traders faster into the group. I would like you to be in the group faster, getting everything for free and learning together with my traders, because you're not only have 2 sessions, live sessions, you're going to have a lot of live sessions free. And I want you to have access to that. So send me a message. You know my Skype, it's in the detail. Send it to Skype. That will give you a faster response. Don't send it to Facebook, or don't send it to my email or so, because I don't check email that often, once a week. Send it to Skype and you'll get an instant answer, or maybe in a couple hours you'll get an answer. Let's go. So I'll start. We always start the week with a fresh slate, so we're going to start it fresh. We're going to tell you what we're looking at, and by the end of the week, most of that might change. You know how that happened because you've been with me for a whole week here, and you understand how we can change the view within a day if we see structural change. Right? So let's go. Dollar index, it's still downside. As far as I'm concerned, we're just making, and like I told you, they're going to make small one, small one, small one, small one, and then it will start to make deeper consolidation for a drop. Now, I believe we're making something like this. Now, for us, that's tradable range, which means we can trade up, we can trade down, we can trade up, we can trade down, we can trade up. Now, if you're going to trade in this range, you have to have a really, really serious skill level, right? You have to have serious management, trade management rules, because if you don't, you end up going to take, you will trade in there, make 5 losses, and then you gave up, right? If you don't understand where it can stop, how it can stop, what's the limits of each piece in there, you're going to get yourself in more trouble than making money. If you're in the group with us, our traders are really good. They're very aggressive. You can see, you've been there, you've seen it. Then the chances are you're going to maybe get a few break even, but you're going to make a few wins. There are very chances where you'll get some losses, but you will get some losses, but those are pretty rare, especially if you use the management you're using. So look at it this way. You can either say this is an expanding flat and this one is going to go up. That makes a trade to the top there. You can assume this is a contracting flat. This is one piece down. You go up there and you come back here and then you go back up there. Now, those are the 2 options. Either way, this is a good buy. The first one, you will work towards a break even. The second one, you'll work to profit. Right? In the first instance, if it happens the way we think it is, which is if it's a contracting flat, you're working towards a break even. Right? If it is an expanding flat, you're working for profit. How far this can go? Well, this can go quite far. These were the sells we had. You remember, because there was a sell here, and I'm not going to put all of them. A lot of them we close also for break even. So you're trading within this range. I'm going to take all of this out. I'm just going to put the range for you. This is your trading range for probably this week. And I don't think they'll probably break out of that for this week, because in terms of how long they consolidate, you can go back and see, what if you get a flat like this here? They look pretty similar, right? Can we end up with something like this there? Are we going to end up with something that is like this? Are we going to end up something that is like this? And then drop? All those are options of how a correction can develop. So as you see, trading by yourself might get you in trouble. It's a buy setup as for now. I'll probably put a buy here, and you should know the limits of the buy, right? So we're looking for a buy setup that could change. That could literally change by the end of this day, especially if this comes lower to this level. We let it go up, we look for a sell setup. Close this. That was a buy setup from Friday. We didn't work. We took this buy, we closed it. We actually took a buy there, we close it. We're still consolidating. It looks like we might be consolidating in this range here now. I'll put this here. We broke the top, right? But there's a good chance that we could be consolidating in this range, right? Because we're not going down. It could be that this is all the consolidation. This is all the correction you get, and this one is trying to go up, but this is sharp, so this is not going to go up. It will probably stay in this consolidation and then go up. So buying this is dangerous. I don't think that's a buy setup there. It's a consolidation, but buying this is pretty dangerous since we have a sharp move here and we have nothing to put to it, right? Can we put this one to it? Yeah, we can, but I think this one is not a bad one as it stands right now. So we'll have to wait for this to make a bigger flat. Either takes off after that or become a much bigger running flat in the future. Now, if what I just said confuse you, you have to learn this stuff. Because the details of that is difficult to do. It will take me about 10 minutes on each chart if I have to explain the details of that. So either it's a flat here or a running flat in the future. Right now, there's no trade setup. There can be a trade setup by the end of the day, but right now there isn't any. Gold, pretty much consolidating. We did break the top and we're dropping. Now this one we have to be very careful with because it could probably make a bigger consolidation here and then go. Or it could retest the low. This is all you get, retest the low here, and then start the upside. It will go back up. It's just a matter of, is this the start of the upside? And we don't know that, right? You will never know that. You'll have to just assume that this is the start. Every time it makes a new low and start going up. And once it proves it's not the start, then you said, okay, well, we're going for the new low. Let's see what we're going to do. So for this one, if we get a consolidation here, I'm aiming for the new low. If this works its way back to the top here, then come back. I'm expecting this to continue to go up, which means we look for buy setup. There is no trade setup at the moment. We'll just have to wait. Maybe by the end of the day, maybe by tomorrow, we get a trade setup. We don't have a trade setup anymore. And both directions are possible now. Again, there are skeptical people who look at this and say, well, you keep saying they're both directions. So that is, you're trying to be right on both sides. If you're simplistic in your thought process, well, then that's what you think. But if you want to complicate your thought process, which means you want to use more of your brain cells, this is what we look at it. We look at wave analysis, and this could be a correction, which means this could drop and break the low and then go back up. I hope you understand that, right? Because that is pretty clear. Right? See this one here? We drop, we break the low, and then we go back up. That's one option. Why aren't we confirming that option? Because the confirmation has to happen here. And if we get that confirmation there, then we will take that chance. There's another option. Since it's wave analysis, this thing just goes back up to the top there, pull back here, make another flat, and then guess what? This is going up. It makes another flat, that goes up. It makes another flat, that goes up. And guess what we will be doing at each one of these points? We'll be buying. We did that. Just in case you want to know how we do that, here it is. Each one of those points were a sell coming down. So the same thing you would do here. Then eventually it will confirm that we're coming back to the top. Only when you broke out of this entire big structure here, when you clear this bigger structure totally, when we cleared that to the upside with a daily confirmation, with a daily correction, then we can confirm that, you know what, this thing is going up. As of now, this could just be a bigger correction. It might even make this flat and break the top, and it could still drop here, make a new low, and then go back up. And that is why both sides are possible at the moment, because you don't have confirmation of any of those sides, right? Once we get a confirmation, then we'll confirm. Anybody who tells you they know exactly where it is going to go probably don't have an idea what they're talking about. Literally, they don't have an idea what they're talking about. Because if they did, they would not make such decisions, right? I think I was invited once to go on a show where somebody was doing something, and he was like, okay, you would have to come and tell us where you think, it was a Friday, where you think Monday euro is going to be. I said, I have no idea. They said, but you're an analyst. So, yeah, but we don't analyze the chart where I guess Monday morning when you wake up where euro is going to go up or down. Because then you don't know that. And anybody who does that is guessing their way. And I never appeared in the show, right? Because then it doesn't make sense. I said I would have to look at what patterns the market is creating. And then based on that pattern, it will tell me, hey, there's probably one more impulse up or one more impulse down. And that's my trade setup for the day. And the same would be in the 4 hour, and the daily, and the weekly. I can tell you where it's going to go within a month or two. But then how it's going to get there, how fast it's going to get there, I can't tell you. And they didn't like that idea. They said they want analysts who can tell you, hey, Monday morning you wake up, blah, 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 it's going to happen, and it's going to take off like a rocket. Boom, never happened, right? So we look at the charts. We don't focus on the news. Focus on the charts because this is the only real thing. The news might not be real. The news might be misleading. The charts can't mislead you. You can only misinterpret it. You can misread the patterns, but you can't. The chart is not misleading you. It's that simple. If you read it wrong, you're either not in the trade or you take a very small loss. If you read it correct, great, you got a very good trade. That is simple as that. So this looks like a flag, too early to tell. We'll come back to that. In this case, we're only looking for buy setups. This one is crystal clear, right? We're only looking for buy setups, and we want this to come back right about this stop here and then drop again. Give us this flat and then drop. So every flag we get there, we'll be buying. It's pretty simple. We're looking for a buy setup. If this consolidates more downwards, it's not my problem. Let it go. Not interested in the sell, especially with this piece. Now, I have this as the breakout, but that might not be the breakout. We're not buying the breakout. We're buying the break of the top. This could still be a flat here. Go down back some more here and then take off. I'm buying above that top. If I get a better entry from the low here, especially if this comes back to the low here and give me a better setup here, we'll probably take this because this will confirm upside for us. Now, that is something that might be a little difficult. We don't have two ways on this. This is only one direction because the pattern is completed almost. And this is telling me, well, it could drop as much as it wants. I'm not selling it. I'm only looking for buys. So not all the pairs you're going to have up and down. Some of them are confirmed in one direction only. And if it goes, then you take the trade. If it doesn't go, you don't take the trade. Euro? Yeah, we're only looking for buys in euro. Because pretty much this is a sharp move up. We've got a sharp pullback. This could give you a small sell here. And once we haven't broken that top, you're in consolidation. I think we'll probably go back up, come down here. We could make a good flat here and then eventually take off. Well, you see something like this, maybe something bigger than that. So right now there is a short-term sell setup. Take off the buy. That was a buy for Friday. It never broke out. Take off this. And this is a short-term sell setup. But you're in the middle of two. You're in the middle of two impulses. You have an impulse here and you have an impulse here. And there's a chance that this might just come here and go back up. It could break the low, yes, possible. But then it's going to go back up to complete a flat, maybe come back here and then go. So we're just going to be going sideways. Well, if you take the trade and it drops to the bottom, congratulations. It's unlikely, but it's possible, right? So there's a short-term sell setup there. You have to be really quick, like this buy setup here. See that buy setup there? That was only to come to this top. You're lucky it went to that top. So wait for this and see how far it takes you. Found? There is a sell setup, but I wouldn't be taking it. We took this buy. You can see that we took this buy here. I think it got closed there. An entry was above that top once it's consolidated. No buy setup there. It's kind of making a sell setup here. There's a small running flat there. But the problem with that is this is the only sharp move in it. That means this break the low, you get another sharp move here. Come back here, and then we get upside. Right? The bigger structure is upside. The short term is downside. Unless this drops all the way to the bottom here. Unless this corrects itself. Right? This comes here. Go back there, drop. Make another one, drop. Make another one, drop. Make another one, drop. Go back up there, make that flat, and then we're going down. It could go from here, make that flat, and then we're going down. Once we come back to the low, we're going down. Right? As of now, we'll assume that they're making a flat here for upside. The upside is short-lived, right? Because I believe that there's a very good chance that we're coming to break this low. So even if you get consolidation here and you get one upside, that would be a short-lived one before you watch them drop back to the bottom here. It means we can trade in this range. That's a tradable range. You can trade in there until you watch it drop back, break the low, and then go back up. So for now, we're trading upwards and mostly sideways. The sell on this we'll ignore. I'll ignore the sell until they break this. So there's a reason for that, because once it tagged that low, it can take off back to the upside. So there's no trade in this. Oh, euro, let's put it, I forgot to put that. Euro would be a short-term sell. For my traders, that's a sell. What we have here, I think you'll skip the buy for now. We don't have anything. We have a short-term buy here. This is a buy, not a short-term. This one is a buy. A confirmed buy. And in gold, we don't have anything, right? Gold, there's a short-term sell, but you have to really be careful. Probably wait for more setups. I'll put it as sell in the making. And you'll wait for that, right? Pound, we don't have anything. Aussie came down pretty low, but it's still in the uptrend, right? It's still in the uptrend. So you don't want to sell it here, even if you get a sell set up. The rule is it has to break the low before we go for a sell. So break out of the structure, make a correction, then we'll go for the sell. The buy is no longer valid, take it off. If we get a buy, we'll take it from somewhere in here. And I have to come back here, make a flag, and then we'll take the buy to the top. So there isn't any setup on that. New Zealand. Take off the sell. That was a sell. I hope you took it off. We can probably take the sell here. There's a good reason why we can take that sell, because we broke the top. It's coming back down, but it's making a flag. So at least there's one more impulse to the downside. You'll have to be very careful. That's an aggressive sell. We did break that top, so this is the first impulse down. Right? It could go more and then go back up if we're making a bigger consolidation here. The higher probabilities we are making a bigger consolidation here to go back to the top. Right? We're in this structure, and there's a very good chance we're making a bigger consolidation here to go back up. Now, if this consolidation stays within this range, we're probably going up. But if they make it deeper, then they're probably going to do this and drop one more. Right? So we don't know which of those two. Take the trade. If it goes slow like this, well, we'll look for sells. But if it goes very fast, you want to trade. The short-term sell is in the consolidation itself, right? So the sell here is very short-term for the first impulse to the downside. I don't know how big it's going to be. Let's take the trade and then we'll manage it, right? So I'll put an entry order under the low. It's a trade you'll have to manage. I'll put it as an aggressive sell. We'll put that as an aggressive sell, which is in orange. So you know that this is the first impulse down. You would have to be careful. Swiss. Okay, so take this off and take this off. We'll have to go. There's a smaller flat somewhere in there, but then we're doing this. We're actually there, right? We haven't broke out of it. And you have a buy. Ignore the buy setup. You do have a buy setup here. Because of the depth of this, I think we ignore the buy setup, because at some point, it didn't break the low, right? At some point, it's going to break the top, come back here, do this, and then drop, break this low, and then go back up, right? If this is the start of the upside, not until we break that top. Let it break the top, then we'll start a buy. It's too deep a pullback to buy that one. Now, can it go back up from here? Absolutely, right? We can go back up from there. We're only looking for this move down. But then you've seen this made consolidation here, drop, make consolidation here, drop, make consolidation there, drop, then go up. So I would treat this as a consolidation for a drop, maybe another one, a drop, and then probably look for that upside. If that works, it will be perfect for this running flat. As we expected. Remember, we still look at this as all consolidation for now. So that is more a bigger consolidation for a drop to the downside. Let the buy stay where it is. If it actually works its way down to the bottom, if we actually come back all the way to the bottom, yeah, we can buy it back to the top there. There would be risk to reward in the trade, but at the moment, there is no good risk to reward. CAD, sell set up. It's still going. Let's see where we are. Yeah, it's going to come a little more. We expect it to come to this level because we're looking at this one. We never got a deep pullback, so be careful, right? We've got 1, 2, 3 here. We have 1, 2, 3. We are looking for this one here down. We never really got a deep pullback. So if we see anything that could give a deep pullback before they do this and go, or it could come in a single wave as well, and then go back up. Let's see what we have here in the 1 hour. Kind of a consolidation. It still looks like a consolidation. It did break the low, right? So if you're looking at this one here and you're assuming, what if this actually did break the low, right? And this is up. So if you get a buy setup here, it might be worth taking. Why? Because there's a deeper pullback that could happen before you finish it, right? It's a very risky one. we can take it. Let's see what it looks like in the 15. It's pretty slow, especially now that you had this flag that broke that up and it's coming back down. And there's no running flat in it, so probably wait. Let's take it off. Wait for this piece to make a flat, right? If this is the first piece up, let this piece make a flat, and then we'll confirm that. So it's kind of like a buy in the making. You can put it as a buy in the making and wait. Just wait for that to give you this setup, and then we'll take the trade. If it's going to drop now, we can ignore that short drop. We'll have to wait for more consolidation. Yen, big picture, we're here. It hasn't broken the top, so two ways we look at it. They'll probably go break the top and then drop. If you want to buy, like this buy and like this buy, they're all risky buys, especially this one. The higher it goes, the bigger the risk in that buy. So once you break that top, any sell setup will go with. You have divergence here, you have divergence here. Any sell setup will take it. Do I want to buy? Nope. I'll just leave it. Wait for a sell setup. So until that gives us a sell setup, we're not trading it. Just leave it alone. You're in New Zealand? Yep, we bought this. I think you guys closed it already. Although it's breaking out, you should close it. Take it off, close the trade. Right. I still expect it to go up, but I don't think this is the start of the upside, although we broke the low here, right? Because this one is going up really slow. I mean, really slow. So there is a good chance that, you know, it could be a deeper correction here. Some kind of a deeper correction, drop one more, and then start that upside. We'll have to wait on that. So here's what we'll do. We'll take this off. We still broke up, right? So we have to keep it there for now until it makes a new low. So what we'll do is wait to see if we get a flag here. Literally, if we get a 1 hour flag. Now, not just this one, but a 1 hour flag, then we buy. So any 1 hour flag here would be a buy setup. A trade we'll take and assume that we're going to break out of that top. If this is some kind of a flat in the making, it will have to drop, make a flag, and then we'll consider one sell. Just one single sell. Break this low again, and then upside. So it's any sell is a short term, any buy setup will take. So we took the one buy. You guys should close it for the weekend. I'm going to put it as a buy in the making, which means we want the flag. If it doesn't make a flag, it starts to drop. We'll take that off. We'll wait for another sell setup and then decide on it. USDCAD? Yeah, it's still a buy setup. It came pretty deep. So this pattern behaved exactly like we wanted it to behave. We bought it to the top. We sold it back to the bottom. We're looking for buys back to this top. And then we're going to complete this flag before it drops. So far, so good. This one is a deep pullback, but it's not like they haven't made deep pullback. It can make deep pullback. We'll still stick with the buy. So now the buy stays here. And if this comes deeper into here, then we'll take off the buy. We'll wait for the up move, and then we'll look for one more drop. Then we'll buy. All of that could happen this week. This is the 1 hour chart, right? So no sell setup. Keep the buy where it is. We put it as a buy setup, and we wait to see what happens. Right? We only take it off if this drop lower, then we take off the buy. It's still going to go back up, which means even if this drops here, it's going to go back up there, but there wouldn't be a buy. We'll wait for one more drop and then the upside. Right? So let's see if we get the buy now. Euro Swiss. Close the trade. Now we're not going to put the entry here. Right? This one was here. We closed it. We put it there. You close it. It probably will still go one more up. This buy here, you took profit on, take that off. Right? There is still a buy setup. But right now, it's really looking like it's a flat for one more down. Right? This doesn't look like it's going to be the start of the up move. Let's put it. I think this could still make one more down here. Even if you put it like this. Okay, here's what we're going to do. We could put the entry for the buy, but manage it. So we'll put it as a buy, aggressive buy. Well, it's not just an aggressive buy, actually. It's more of a dangerous buy. So you put the buy, assuming that this is the low, and wait for that move up, right? We're making this move up. So since we have a flag, let's take the buy, and then we wait, right? If it goes really fast, perfect. If it's just stop short of going, break the top and look like it's pulling back, we'll get rid of the trade. Now it's a weekend, so it could be they stayed here because of the weekend, and now they can take off. We're still expecting that move. We'll assume this is the low for now. That's the assumption. And let's see if it takes off. One move to the top and then come back down. Euros. Upside is good. You can keep buying, right? So you close that buy, wait for another buy setup. Let's see if we have another buy setup anywhere. You can go with an entry here with a small running flat. It's going really slow, but it's still going up, right? So this one was good. You would probably have an entry here. That would have been closed. You put an entry here, you close that, put an entry above the top. Let's see if this goes. A bigger flag would work, right? This is very slow. If we get a bigger flag or a bigger correction, that would be a perfect buy setup. And where are we buying it to? And we're going back to the top. We're going to break out of this, at least back to this level. At least back to this level, and then we'll see if they break out. Right? Can it break out? Absolutely. I think we can expect more upside. So this is a buy. I think that's the euros, which is the euros. Yes, that's a buy setup. Euro yen. Close the trade if you took it. You can put another entry here for a buy. We'll change that only if it's consolidating, if it drops lower. We did break the top, right? So big picture, this is downside. Don't forget that. This thing has to go down in the big picture. So actually, if this starts to drop from here, it has to drop, right? If it drops really sharp like this and make a flag here, we're starting to sell this for this level and then break out. Right? It could come really fast. It doesn't necessarily have to come slow. If this consolidates here, you're doing one more buy, and that's it. Take the profit off. So the buy at the top there is pretty high risk. But if you get a flag, why not take the trade? That is a very, very short trade. This one was a good trade. This one was a good trade. If they stay there, it's a good trade. Do we have a sell setup? We actually have a sell setup, but that's mostly for our group. Let me see the 15. It would be a very, very aggressive trade. If you want to go with the sell, take off the buy. If you want to go with the aggressive sell, it's a very, very aggressive sell. So it's a sell, very aggressive. We can take it. We're back at the top there, but this is the top of it. And since we're above the daily top and the weekly top, we'll go with that aggressive sell and manage it. Europa? Okay, anyone who took that sell did excellent. Anybody who took that, you got the good job. Congratulations. You're only looking for a sell, and you're looking for a sell now back to this level. So the sell was here. You're no longer going to take that sell because you're coming back to this level, right? So take this off. It actually did tag the top or break the top. I don't know which one. It's coming back here, and then it's going to go. You're looking for this flat. So we've got to move up, and this is a good sell coming back here. All you have to do now is manage it. Now, if you haven't taken that sell, I'll not put it on because we weren't there, but in Asian session, if you guys took it, well done. If you haven't taken the sell, wait for another flag. Any other flag would be. So I put it as a sell in the making, but you should have been in that trade from the Asian session. That's a great sell. Once you see the setup, you know where we're getting it from. Swiss pound. So pound Swiss. As a Swiss pound, pound Swiss, take this off. That didn't go very far. That would have been a break-even trade. You had how many? 1, 2, 3 hours. A break even or a small loss, but if you close it here, right? Or if you close it there, depending on which way you close it. If you didn't, this is going back up. You would definitely close it now, right? Let's see. It broke the top. It didn't go anywhere. We broke out of this one as well. But we're not breaking the lows yet. So even if it is going to go break the low, if this is going to go break the low, you need a consolidation here. And then look for one more just to break that low. The downside is not a great idea. We're always looking for the upside. So let it break the low again, and then we look for the next upside. I think they can break the low. We can drop, I don't know, make a few more drops. Probably drop like this again, one more, drop like this again, one more, drop one more. Very small drops, not even that big, very small drop. And then this big one starts. I'd say all of this is consolidation downwards. So we don't have the buy setup now. We just wait for that. No buy setup. This is a sharp move down. Wait for the buy setup. Pause. It's going up still, but I would say probably close the trade. You close the trade on Friday. This was one on Friday. It didn't go. It's still positive, but now it looked more like a consolidation. See? So take off the buy until it moves away from that zone and give us. We can literally look for a sell setup here for one more drop. Right? Look for a sell here for one more drop. That's in the 4-hour where it can go. Yeah, they can get to the low. So the reason we were selling this from here is because we know they can drop to this level and then go back up, right? Making this the flat. So that drop possible, go back, come back down here and go back up there, completing this entire pattern like that. There is possible one more drop. If it's going to be a buy, you want it to actually take off. We want this to make a sharp impulse. Then we wait for a flag and a buy. Right now, I still think we stay away from it or put the sell for one more drop. That is going to be a single drop. So we'll put a sell for one single drop, take the trade, get in, get out. Pound yen. It could be a running flat. This made a series of running flats here. You can see that. So you can still go with this possible making a running flat, but any buy setup from the top there is a good idea. All of them we took were either break even or small profit. So we're going to take this one as well. Put an entry for a sell. If it goes higher, like this one, right? We had an entry here for a sell, it went higher. We ignore it. If it goes higher, ignore it. If this is a running flat for upside, ignore the buy, because when it breaks that up, it's still going to come back down. At some point, this pulls back very deep before it goes, right? It either pulls back with this. We're looking at this as the flat. We're looking at this as the flat there. So you have 1, 2, 3. It either drops like this, or it pulls back with a 1, 2, 3 and then go. So the sell setup is a good idea. Followed by divergence, right? We have divergence here, or at least you have divergence in here. And both of those are good reasons to sell. See the divergence now? And the 1 hour is pretty clear. The sell is a good idea. Very good idea. You just have to manage the trade. Pound. It's breaking the low and it's giving us a sell setup. So the question is, do we want the sell setup from there? Well, you can take the trade. It's a short term, not the best trade because it's already broken the low. But a sell setup is under the low is a good idea. And if it's under the low, the sell setup is a good idea. Very short term trade too. So if you take this, you'll have to be careful. What if this is starting the upside after breaking the low? Well, you can't buy into this small one. You'll have to allow it to do this and then make a flag here, and then we'll go with the buy. Confirming the upside. Right now, it just looks like a small flag for downside. It's a risky buy, so it's a risky sell. So I'll put it as a risky sell, which means it probably just give you one drop. The pound yen is a better sell. Pound New Zealand. If you bought it, close it. By the time it gets to there, you get break even. There's 4 hours here to close it, but if you get it there, that's break even. It will break that top, and it'll probably drop one more. It's making more of a flag like this for one more drop. Again, all the pound pairs have drops in them, right? So this is, if this is starting to drop, this could be the point where they drop to break this low. So the sell setup here is not a bad idea. You have to keep it under the low. Why? Because this looks incomplete. Right? This could still go back here, come back here, do this, and then drop. You don't want this to tag you. So keep it under the low. And we look for a better entry from the top. Aussie yen. Close the sell. Put an entry under the low. If this is a flat for upside, you can only buy above the top. It could be that this is 1, 2, 3, and they're going up, but you can buy only above the top. Where would it take us in the big picture? Let's see. Well, it can still break the top, right? They can still go back to this top. So last week we looked at this 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. It could break that top and then come back 1, 2, 3 here for a flat. So all the sells are good. This buy is short term. It's a good buy, but short term. So if it goes higher, let's see in the 51 hour what this looks like. That flag was a good sell. It's not really aggressive at the bottom here. It looks more upside right now. Right? This piece is sharp up move, and if this continues to go, we'll buy above the top. If we get a flag before that, we'll take the trade from the flag. But this should go immediately. Right? It shouldn't go slow. If it should go like this. If it goes slow, it's not the trade. So if you want to buy, put the entry above the top here. If it stays here, this is not a consolidation because this is one sharp move. Wait for a consolidation here for the sell. So it could be a sell in the making, but a buy. In that case, we put the blue. You can put the buy entry and you wait for this to happen to make the sell setup. Wait for it to consolidate, take the sell. Aussie Swiss. More upside. I still think we could go a little more up before they actually come down back. It not necessarily have to go, but there's a good chance you could do this and then come back here, right? Because they tend to get to the top. We never broke the tops though, you notice? So if this is trying to come down, any flag you get here, and you need a flag because they're very smooth, it's coming down slow. So you need that correction here to prove downside. It will be a sell. Could it be they're doing this now? Yeah, it could be. Right, they're just dropping, pull back, drop to this level, and then go back up. That's possible. So if it is dropping, you'll have to wait for a flag here to sell. We don't have a flag. A buy setup, we don't have it. This is too deep to buy into it. Even if it's a running flat, it's useless, but it's not a running flat. Right, this was the running flat. Expanding flat, that was the expanding flat. This is sharp. Right, so this one you'd have to wait for it to go back up like this, come back here, and then buy. If it makes a flag here, it becomes a sell setup. So we'll put sell in the making, and then we'll change that if it doesn't give you a flag. Aussie, New Zealand. Okay, tag, you'd waited there forever. This take 12 hours there. 12 hours in the same spot. Close the trade. Take it off. You still want to buy it? Put an entry above the top. It will probably be there for the next 3 days. Aussie CAD. Okay, this one actually dropped. It didn't make a new high, so that would be the high. This would be the high. We thought it was going to stop here and go back up. It didn't. It keep dropping. Take this off and take this off. Now we will start to look for a sell, but only when you get a flag. So remember, the reason we didn't take any sells in this, although we broke the top, is we can be sure that this is over. Now, if you get a correction here, that is over and you're coming to break the low. So the risk to reward in this trade here is amazing, right? You're expecting this move down. So wait for a flag, put this sell. So we put the sell setup, right? We're waiting for this flag and then take the trade. New Zealand Swiss. It's kind of going sideways. If you're going to drop from this point, you have to wait for a flag from this, right? So if this is a correction in here to go down, you have to wait for a flag. If they're going to go up, don't take the traders yet. It's just only one impulse here. Break this stop and then drop. We don't have a buy setup as yet, but a sell would be a good idea. We don't have a sell setup either, so we wait in this. New Zealand CAD. Okay, so that trade is still valid if we're looking for running flat. We're treating this as a running flat. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. That trade is bad. If we get a flag here, that's a better trade. So we wait for this to make an impulse, make a flag, and then we're not selling at the bottom there. It doesn't matter if it drops, you're not selling at the bottom there. So it's a buy in the making. We put it as a buy in the making. By the way, if you're seeing this webinar for the first time and you want to know what the hell I'm putting all those things there for, because we follow up with each of these trades every single session, and we do 4 or 5 sessions a day. So what we do is we follow up with those trades and tell you what we're going to do with them next. Right? Those are internal stuff. So don't get caught up in it. New Zealand yen. Close the sell, look for the buy. It's going to make a new high. Well, you closed that sell already. We can go with the buy now. Put the entry here. And if it breaks out, take the trade. If they consolidate here, if it literally consolidates here, there will probably be one more drop, but you can see this. Still out upside, right? We'll consider if we take the drop. But this one is starting to look like it's going to go up. So you can put it as a buy now. One impulse, take profit. Canadian. This one actually has a buy setup. All right, this one has a buy setup, pretty small one like this. You can go for one impulse, take profit. Be careful, they're all at the top with divergence, right? So the buys are aggressive. No, that wouldn't be it. This would be the aggressive buy. All the buys are aggressive. CAD Swiss. I would say ignore the buy, but it's up to you. There's a buy setup here. I'll say ignore it, let it go, wait for the sell. This is the impulse. This is the correction. Wait for the drop. Why waste your time on that? It's not going to go far. Right? Swiss yen. This one, you might get another sell setup, buy setup, let's say. This one could be both. If it drops now, it's a sell. If it goes to the top, it's a short-term buy. Probably not one you want to take. I think this is the weekly top, right? That's a weekly top. This is a sharp move down. That's a sharp move up. Two sharp moves are not telling us anything. It could be the start of a much, much bigger flat at the top here, but you're at the top of it, right? So from the top, any sell setup is a good idea, even if it breaks the top or not. It's in the 15. So on the 15, when I see this, I'll probably put a sell setup here. And we'll wait. So I'll put it as a sell. It's a trade you'll have to manage, right? And this. It's still going up, so it's probably going to be a sell from somewhere here. Then put a sell there. It's still a sell setup as of now, right? This one was a big one, and it still dropped. If this drop, you want that trade. So it's short term, but it's a trade. So guys, we'll close the Forex part here.